You will come through doorways that you didn't even know were there. See something unbelievable. But you have to believe it because it's right there in front of your eyes.
What you want to give her something bigger than you?
It used to be evil was an amorphous thing, a shapeless, simple reaction of fear, a taint in the air we breathed, too faint to be seen or felt or smelt or tasted. We ate and slept and played and lived, and by God we lived in fear. Man rose to say, "This is good," and it was good. All he wanted was good, and what he didn't rotted and festered and filled into the cracks and shapes of whiplashes, knife slashes, feasting ravens, rotting corpses, errant spirits, burning forests, flowing blood, solid darkness, horned devils and serpentine women, squirming, oppressed, leaking where it soon bursts forth. All Hallows Eve is no longer the sanctity it once was, where once Celtic druids spread hallowed fire to shield the living from the wandering dead, and those of means shared their wheat and mead not to starve their people for the reign of Samhain. Today it's a harmless festival celebrated by adults and children alike, where blessed fire once chased evil into the dark, now lit porch lights invites costumed children for sugary sweets. Parents join in the game, and bachelors and bachelorettes forego their somber everyday to hold careless carnival in the dying hours of the night. I'm being very wordy to describe a simple short. What can I say? It deserves it. Anyway, 10/31/98 is a home movie. What begins with a balmy summer cookout at a local park with family and friends transitions to a hidden camera feed from the hood of a teddy bear suit worn by and yeah, this is another one of those movies where all the characters are named after their actors. Which, to be honest, I appreciate because fuck remembering all these names. As for what he's wearing,
Your bear. A nanny cam guy. A nanny cam.
And on that note, I've never had a Halloween party, I've never had a costume party, but if I did and anyone dared show up as a nanny cam, I would deck them. Not because it's an invasion of privacy or anything like that. I mean, people see you dressed up as a teddy bear, they're going to assume that you have a camera in your forehead. It's contextual consent. It's like pulling out a cell phone. I just fucking hate mascot suits. Moving on, is meeting up with his best friends, Matt Bettinelli-Olpin, Chad Villeja, and Paul Natonek, and swerve into the night on the hunt for a haunt to flaunt their gaunt. A most gallant pirate, a most intrepid Unabomber, a most audacious soldier, and a most unsightly nannycam in the pursuit of the sum of their fears. Street lights and shop signs blur the night about them, active railways hinder them, and poor directions confuse them.
Just pick one. Poser or Montecito?
It's one of those.
Mar Vista? Yep. Alright, I'm going left.
All the street.
Foolish fools! If you have a right, then what's left is wrong. What's wrong with you ain't right, what's with you going left? Put another way, they're lost. But they do find a haunted-ish looking house that definitely fits the description of a party. No people, no music, no decorations, no signage. This must be the place. Okay, so I just assumed they were looking for a party. They're dressed like the village people. They don't have any kids. They said they were looking for a party. I guess I'm a bit prejudiced, a bit narrow-minded. It turns out they were actually looking for a haunted house attraction. And maybe TV convinced them if something looks real, it has to be fake because things aren't real in real life? Not to say there is no reason to think it's a house of horror.
Jesus! God! Like people reaching on the wall at you. I've never seen that before. That was fucking awesome.
Which brings me to the stellar visual storytelling going on here. The mansion looks like every stereotype haunted building in cinema. A turn-of-the-century upper-class rook elevated above the streets and pavements below. Imposing and old, but kept up and cared for. Entering the building is entering the surreal. It feels lived in, like it should be bustling, but it's quiet, still, tense. Exploring the rooms, they find small signs something is not right with this place. By the fireplace, Chad finds the abused corpse of a teddy bear, not dissimilar from the costume he's wearing, and soon he finds it again, on a bed on the second floor of the building. Ghostly figures appear in a glimpse. Furniture seems to follow them. Small, gentle prods at their nerves telling them to get out. Infantilized by lives lived in rationality and comfort, all they see are soft parlor tricks and harmless pranks designed to shake and entertain. And then they hear the chanting from above. And through the unity of the men with the sword, arise, O Lord, cast him down. Do as ye have said, and fall upon him and burn him, that thou mayest take away the innocent blood which Joab shed from me and from the house of my father. Arise, O Lord, cast him down. A sword is upon the liars, a sword is upon the mighty men, and they shall be dismayed. A sword is upon their horses and their chariots, and upon all the mingled people that are in the midst of her. Arise, O Lord, cast him down!
Cast him down! Cast him down! Cast him down!
Jeez, and I thought I was unwelcome at parties. Also, this short was produced by a little film collective called Radio Silence, which also play all of the lead roles, but I have no idea who these people are. Pissed off is what they are. These mookish intruders are interrupting a ceremony, a ritual of utmost importance, weakening the sanctity of the moment and awakening the woman. She pleads for help and is struck across the mouth, alerting the four fools this may be more than just a show for their amusement. And the house starts to shake.
The fact I cannot show this whole sequence is a crime!
A rumbling howl grows like a tremendous beast rousing beneath their feet, and the practitioners begin to choke, as if a rabid cobra coils around their necks before they're torn from the ground and vanish into the shadows above. In a moment of humanity, Nanny Cam refuses to leave the girl behind, but cutting her down isn't half the battle. She can barely stay awake, and they have to carry her as a vicious maelstrom descends upon the house. The walls distort with demonic imprints. Furniture and decorations are thrown around the rooms. Door handles and windows are erased before their eyes, and disembodied limbs reach for the fleeing heroes. For the girl, like the horrid grips of the men who took her, like the polyps in Ursula's lair. There is a twist coming. Driving madly from the house of horrors, ignorant of what they even stumbled in on, all they saw were lunatics stringing up a woman to abuse and do God knows what to her, and so they helped her escape. Ignorant, hair-triggered fools. In a flash of darkness, the woman vanishes from inside the car, and the car comes to a stop, stretched across the railway. Suddenly, surrounded by ravens, stood like a corpse held by invisible string, she appears again before them. What good men wrought, the evil manifest, the corrupted taken flesh, form taken where it burst forth. And as she turns, they notice the approaching light and screaming howl of the oncoming train.
That was awesome! Add this to the list of shorts that needs a feature-length adaptation. Now! This second, now!
I'm sorry for the lack of visuals, but I have half an hour to get this done. 103198 is a masterclass in filmmaking. From start to finish, it's among the most well put together films I can remember off the top of my head. The home video of their day at the park both sets the visual style and explains why they're filming in the first place. Home videos. They hope to have a good time and want to immortalize it. I even understand why that first bit was included. When personal cameras and home videos were still new, people would record everything just in case it ended up being a great moment in time, and if it wasn't, they'd record it over the old tapes rather than keep buying new ones. So what we see is a remnant of an old recording. That said, with the way the movie ends, it doesn't entirely make sense. For one thing, the Bensound camera has to be digital or there wouldn't be room for the contraption. For another, even if the digital footage could have been retransferred to a tape, it ends with a lot of them being very thoroughly smashed across the block, so how would it have ended up on one of the old home videotapes? Nevertheless, it never feels like a scripted story, it never feels like a drama, or even like there's a pace to it. The large part of the film is pretty slow and uneventful, and when you're left mostly waiting for something to happen, which ultimately doesn't matter when the film is only 16 minutes long. When things happen, it goes from 0 to 100 in a second, and what we get more than justifies the wait. Which in turn felt like its truly unexpected turn of events, making it feel real. The fact it was filmed by close friends and association is a big part of what gives it that feel. They don't say or do anything that feels relevant to any kind of plot the movie could have had, and in fact most of the time they're pretty boring or annoying to listen to. Especially when they defy the common sense and enter a house because the door is open and the house looks somewhat creepy. It's clearly not the place for the party, you idiots! This double-edged sword of realism is what ultimately prodded off the #1 spot. Because while the overall effect was a believable and shocking thrill ride most horror movies I've seen can't even approach, I didn't enjoy my time watching it until the end, and watching it again feels very tedious and uninteresting. Nevertheless, 311098 is a solid short I highly recommend you seeking out.